Jesus,
ASAP,
look at
man.
that. Look at that friggin' view.
Right? Damn. I don't think I've got the visual on here, so
I mean,
damn.
you're looking
That's
fancy
awesome.
too. Still don't know how to
Fuck.
unmute. Still don't know how to unmute yourself, huh? Still there you
Fucking
go.
never get it, you know?
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Where are you at? I mean, you look like you're living the dream.
Undisclosed location, boys.
Undisclosed. Okay. And whatever you're doing, you look like you need to make a fancy drink in that. It's got to be
Exactly.
Right.
something
Right.
fancy, you know?
Or Rob Roy or Thomas Collins. You gotta call him by his full name.
What would you not drink with vodka, honestly? I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
Goes with everything, right? Oh.
maybe no vodka milk.
Well, technically, White Russian.
Hmm.
And I went through a White Russian phase,
Is that
which,
actual dairy milk in a White
yeah,
Russian?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, White Russian is Kahlua milk and vodka, right?
Which, we've got the Big Lebowski redraft coming up, so there might be a variation on the Caucasian, just to throw that out there.
Hell
Might
yeah.
happen. Yeah, so I'm assuming you've got all your prop bets all lined up and ready to run us through all these.
I'm ready to roll, Ron.
Well, fuck, let's get to it. I hit that intro and let's do this thing. Freaks and geeks, drinkers, thinkers, ramblers and gamblers, stoners and pet owners. Gather around. This is the Outsiders Social Club, where us misfits, miscreants, outcasts get together and ramble, palaver, prattle, and get royally intoxicated while we do so. So without further ado, let's proceed.
One for the party, baby. Puff on the road, drumming. Knock back a drink. There's nobody home.
Welcome back to the Outsiders Social Club. I'm your master of ceremonies, Drinks with Ron, and I'm gambling again. Usual rules apply. You drink if you hear a dog or a cat or a bong. 1.5 is the over-under for hearing dogs on the pod. This is normally where I'd go to Troy for a drink over-under, but no Troy. So, subsection 8 of Rule 7, paragraph 2 says no drink over-under. But I am joined by Joe Vegas, and you know what that means. It means some gambling's coming.
Yes, sir, Ron. It is Super Bowl week. It is, am I allowed to say the day? It's only Tuesday, and this is the second night I've been drinking already. Last night, went to 3 different casinos, got to hang out with a CBS sports guy that I know, got to see a couple
Oh,
Levitard show folks. So it's going to be one hell of a week, boys.
yeah, call that a win already. Shit, that's... Also joining us tonight for some gambling, SAMO, how goes it?
Hello, gentlemen. Can't complain.
A man of few words. Truly.
Yeah, I'm used to having like 7 people talk here to give me a chance to reset the board.
Yeah,
So, all
I
right.
don't know if I've been accused of too few words before. Usually I run my mouth endlessly. So, I think there's the NOLA podcast is me talking for like 3 straight hours. So,
Well, and since we can't, Samo is in an undisclosed location, I assume, due to some art shenanigans. But the background there looks amazing, which
It
also
looks really
qualifies.
nice. Incredible.
Yeah, so
Visual gag on an audio format. Nobody gets the joke.
Where you are right now looks like a nice place to host a party too, Maybe that's happening later.
maybe. Who knows?
And what did you fill your fancy drink or cup with or glass, excuse me, glass with?
So this right here is Malibu rum and ginger, which I just
oh,
made up tonight, and it's pretty good. And there's this fancy glass in the room, so I put it in.
this sounds delightful.
Awesome. And Ron, just so you know, I'm gonna drink every night this week for sure. So
Well, fuck. All
um,
right.
I just don't see any other way. Super Bowl in Vegas, it's taken everything in our power for Amanda and I not to drive out to Lake Las Vegas. We know very well where they're staying. We know the area very well. It's, not far from us here in Henderson, but we're gonna enjoy the festivities of the week for sure. All right, what do you think, boys? Should we jump right in?
I'm ready to do some gambling.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
Before we do it, though, I got a little game, Samo, that you and I are going to play. Ron is going to participate.
Okay.
The game is called Can Ron Name the Last Super Bowl Participants? X seasons. I'm setting the over-under at 1.5. Can he name the Super Bowl participants of the last 1.5 seasons? I'm going under. I don't think
Okay.
he can do it. I think he can possibly do last year, but I don't think he's going to get the year before. Ron, no cheating. What about you, Sama? You got faith in Ron? You think he can get there?
Uh, I think I agree. He's going to get last year's, but I think the second one's going to be a little rough. Yeah.
All right, Ron, you we're both against you. Let's see what you can do. Ron, who participated in last season's Super Bowl?
Last year, last year was Chiefs, was it not? Chiefs played a team from that, maybe one of those NFC teams. Shit. I, God, I can't believe I'm actually drawing a blank on that.
Ron, just to get you to the next season, I'll give you one hint. One of their fans is with us right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's it was the Eagles game. Yeah, because yeah. Now that you say that, I do remember. I thought the
The
Eagles
last
were
couple months has been so rough, honestly. Like I almost forgot it too. I was like, who was that? Oh yeah, that was
so
us.
long.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, now I know there's no chance you're getting the one the season before. So I'll be excited if you get one of the teams from the year before.
Oh shit! The year before that. I mean, it's got to be Chiefs again, right? They go back to back.
That is incorrect.
Oh man.
It was the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals, of course.
Oh, I thought that was 2 years ago. I was
Well, I
saving
mean, it
that
wasn't
one.
last year, so I guess technically 2 seasons ago,
Yeah, I was still thinking there was another one in between though. So that's
And bonus, the one before that was Tampa Bay over the Chiefs, which you probably
okay.
wouldn't have gotten also.
Nah, I already forgot about that Brady one. Yeah,
It does feel like a long time ago.
it
So,
was a long time ago. Yeah,
well, I just cashed my first bet, the under on Ron
yeah,
knowing the last Super Bowl teams. So, go me.
yeah. It's a rough
All
start
right.
for me.
All right, boys. I have scoured the prop sheets all around town. I came up with a handful of bets. We're going to say 5 to 7. These are bets that I will not normally make during the season. They are special to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Obviously, Samo, you're a gambler. You have access to FanDuel, DraftKings. You get to see some good stuff. I got a couple bets in on those as well. But I found some ones I like. These are, as I told Ron earlier, these are ones that I did not get from any experts, any betting podcasts or anything. These are just ones that I saw that I like. So I'm going to start it off with Westgate has the highest scoring quarter by both teams at 19 and a half points. Personally, I
Wow.
think that's a lot of points. I think that's too many. That we're talking 3 touchdowns in one quarter or 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. I went under on that one. I feel like it's almost too easy. Like how does that even get there? You'd have to have basically 2 touchdowns right in a row to even have a shot. What do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think both defenses are considered good as well. I mean, I think maybe the Niners aren't quite as good as they get credit for, but I think the Chiefs are probably better than they get credit for defensive wise. So I would lean under too, but I think the way Super Bowls usually happen, and I mean big games in general, I think both teams kind of come out a little tight, little puckered buttholes. Like the first quarters, I might bet first quarter over under because usually the I would bet first quarter under usually because teams come out, they don't want to make mistakes, they're tentative. But as the game goes on, it opens up. So if it happens, it's going to be a third or a fourth quarter. But I think I would shade under as well.
Yeah, right now you can get the first quarter at 9.5. The under
Hmm.
is minus 115. I think I'm thinking about taking that one because it actually leads into my second bet, Ron. And feel free to chime in once I give you this one. Also, the lowest scoring quarter, 3.5 points.
Hmm.
I'm also taking the under. I think that you're going to have a 1 field goal or less quarter. I think it could be that first quarter. Personally, I think both teams could come out a little slow. I'm basically banking on maybe a long drive that goes nowhere, missed field goal, or something like that. I'm gonna go with that under 3.5. I think first quarter has a
Oh,
chance. I think third quarter has a chance, but actually, let's say somehow this game is a blowout. Fourth quarter has a great chance then, where both teams do nothing. So,
that's fair. Yeah, because I think a lot of people's remembrance of Kansas City being a heavy point scorer is from the past. That's not the same offense we've been seeing, a few years back. So I tend to be with you on these unders. That it's like you said, a long drive from Casey that they just don't cash in on or something. But yeah, I'm with that.
yeah, I
Three and
kind
a
of
half is three and a
go
half is
ahead.
pretty scary though. I don't know.
It
Three and a
is.
half.
That's
It's
true.
That
definitely scary. But also that half is kind of luring me in. I feel like the public will be all over the over. They'll say, of course, there's going to be a touchdown in every quarter. But I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna hope for like a 6, 7 minute opening drive by San Francisco that leads to a punt or a turnover, and then maybe Kansas City comes down and gets a field goal, something like that. I believe firmly, and some of my bets will come into play here, that the 49ers will not let Brock Purdy beat them they will not let him turn it over in the first half and make them lose the game. I think it's going to be runs, it's going to be, clock control, and the Chiefs have been doing that all playoffs. Chiefs have been basically doing that all
Right.
season. So,
Yeah, that's not the offense from 5 years ago. They're pretty heavily ball control, and it seems like a lot of them come down to a third down and long that they need to convert, and they just keep doing it. But
all right.
yeah, they don't seem to be really moving the chains consistently.
All right, my next wager, and this is a first half wager that I got at plus 145 odds. It is both teams to have a lead in the first half. So basically, what I'm banking on is one team starts out with a field goal, then I can maybe get my under 3.5 first quarter. Another team then scores a touchdown. So both teams have had the lead first half. I felt like there was decent value on that at plus 145. The Chiefs have been starting out pretty well in these games, against the Bills, against the Ravens, opening drive touchdown. So again, all I'm basically hoping for is a field goal, first score, and then the next team maybe to score a touchdown. And then I'll cash that one. So
Yeah, I think that's a fairly safe bet. It feels like most of these games, playoffs and Super Bowl, seems like there is a little bit of back and forth. Even if it winds up as a blowout eventually, it seems to stay fairly tight in the beginning. But I like that one.
all right, Samo, if you have anything, I'm gonna move on. Um, Along those same lines of what I just said about the Chiefs, will the Chiefs score a touchdown in the first quarter? The yes is plus 125. So I decided to take that one. I like how they've started, actually. They started out well against the Bills. I think it was a field goal, but Ravens was a opening drive touchdown. So I kind of think they're locked in. I think their focus is really, really good right now. This is not the same Chiefs team right now. So I like them to score. And I'm sort of mini hedging against my under 3.5, where if the Chiefs do score in the first quarter, I'll get something.
So I was about to ask that. It's interesting that you're looking at under 3.5 points, but also a Chiefs touchdown. So I feel like hedging on a straight bet, you're just gonna lose your juice. And straight bets in general I don't really like because even when you get them, it's a coin flip minus juice. I would rather. I mean, my go to is always a parlay where both parts of the parlay are teased down. So because then both sides are better than a coin flip, and you really get paid on them. And really, usually you only need to get like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, like that situation, and you'll be ahead. So a hedge. If you put $10 on both of those bets, don't you lose either way?
Well, I call it a mini hedge, and only because I do actually think that the third quarter also has possibility of three or under. And like I said, with the fourth quarter, potential blowout. So if I only believe the first quarter was going to be the one for a low score, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I do think there is some potential otherwise. And I got the under 3.5 at even money. I got this one at plus money. So actually, if I hit the plus money one and lose the other one, I'm technically profitable because it's plus money. So without that plus money, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it for, like minus 110 or whatever, or anything worse than that. So uh,
Gotcha.
tempted by the plus money, always. I know some people named Care Bear who are always tempted by the plus money. So yeah, so there's that one. Moving on. And this, you know what, Ron, this might be my favorite bet. All right. The first turnover of the game, a fumble at plus 135. So,
Okay.
as I said about Purdy, I don't think they're going to just come and let him sling it right away. I think they're going to run the ball. Mahomes has been great protecting the ball lately. I think with all the runs, any of these guys try to take a punt return or a kick return. I think it's basically a coin flip. So to get it at plus money, a fumble, I really like that. I think that there are some possibilities, especially if they get cute with like different runners, like they try to do a sweep with Debo or they try to get
Right.
Nicole Hardman in there with some kind of weird thing or Kelsey or who knows. I think a fumble could happen, and I'm banking on that one.
Okay. And that has to be a turnover then, not just a straight fumble.
That's right. It does have
Okay.
to lead to a turnover.
All
So
right. Yeah, because I can
good.
definitely see fumbles with jitters and some, people without Super Bowl experience maybe dropping. But okay, yeah, a little bit tougher if it's got to be turned over. So
Yeah, very good question on that one.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Have you
Yeah.
ever bet the race to points bets? I have never bet one of those. I've seen them lately, and it's interesting. For instance, Niners race to 10, race to 20 versus
Yeah.
Chiefs race 10, race to 20. If you think one team's going
oh,
to start fast and the other one's going to catch up, but I've never bet it, and I'm not really sure how to bet it.
Yeah, so I don't think I have either. I'll do it in basketball, like if I want a quick winner, like race 10, race 20, you know what I mean? But in
just
this
to have
situation,
results in hand already.
right. In this situation, I would assume that the 49ers are probably favored race to 10 or race to 7, race to whatever. And I don't mind it, but if I was going to do it, then I would probably just bet the first half. If I think the 49ers are going to be the first to whatever in football, I would just probably, bet them on the money line or something first half. Might be able to get a better price. Um, Otherwise, again, tempted by the plus money when it comes to that. If you think the underdog is going to start out well, and to be honest with you guys, I really don't know how to judge this game.
Same,
The
same.
49ers are still favored. I don't understand it. They
Yeah.
haven't they haven't been good in a month. The Chiefs beat what I would say are the best two teams the last 2 weeks on the road. Uh, I just don't understand why the Chiefs could be favored by 2.5 right now, and I feel like
Yeah,
the public would still be all over it. So the fact that they're underdogs, I don't I don't know what's happening here. I know part of it has to do with that a month ago the 49ers would have been a 5.5 point favorite. But I don't think the line is adjusted enough. And also, and somebody brought this up on a pod that I listened to. There isn't a good algorithm for Mahomes, right? Like that you can't
yeah,
adjust it to account for him, for his intelligence, his ability, you know,
yeah.
whatever he has to do to win. You know what I mean? Like he was an
Mhm.
underdog against the Bills. He was an underdog against the Ravens.
And like I said earlier, though, it does kind of feel like these Chiefs wins. There's been a bunch of plays that they had to have to get the game, where the Niners felt a little more. I don't know. They felt a little more convincing, I guess. And they just have so many offensive weapons that you're basically stacking up Mahomes and Kelsey and say, can these guys do it
Right.
against the entire 49ers offense? But I will say, however, that Pacheco gets left out in this. He is
He is
underrated.
he's definitely a good player, and Rasheed Rice is also very good.
He
I'm
has come
I'm pretty
on, yeah.
impressed with him. But one thing I noticed against the Ravens, once the Chiefs got the lead, it's almost like they were playing water boy type of football. They just were like content to punt every
Yeah,
play or every, they were like, you're not going to beat us. We had the lead on you. You're not going to come down and score on us. So
yeah,
it's not like they were trying to, keep the pedal on the metal or anything. They certainly weren't doing the Dan Campbell, trying to, you know, win in an onslaught or lose.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I don't get the line. I don't understand it completely. Um, I Samo, I really don't know. I don't know if who I would bet first half right now
Yeah,
because I could see the Chiefs. Chiefs last year against the Eagles. What were they down 10? Down 10 at half, and they were down to the Bills, I think, a little bit. But they're a dangerous second half team. Actually, Care Bear bet the Chiefs plus a half second half. I kind of like that. I kind of feel like if any team is going to adjust well at halftime, it would be Andy Reid and
Right.
Mahomes.
That's
So,
fair.
so maybe a second half bet there.
yeah. When it comes to, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Purdy. Um, Last pick in the draft, we all know that and everything, and he is good. But I think the drastic difference in this game, and why I am also shocked that the Niners are favored is I think the quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. And I think
Right.
Mahomes is showing he's quickly approaching, Brady. And I think, I think ultimately Mahomes is going to win the game. Mahomes, Kelsey, Pacheco, like, I think that's going to be the X factor. And like when we were talking before about like who's going to start fast, start slow, whatever, I can see the Niners starting off strong, and then I just see the Chiefs pulling it out in the end, one way or the other.
Right. That's what I said. It feels like it's that complete 49ers offense loaded with weapons against Mahomes and magic. And I still feel like I lean towards the bag of magic. I don't know why.
Totally.
So I actually made this comparison when I was talking to the CBS Sports guy yesterday. Look at me, Louie, am I
I was
right?
gonna say I don't have that on the
Um,
fucking board, but
uh, I actually think this Chiefs team is semi-similar to the Tampa Bay team that beat the Chiefs. They're coming in off of two big road wins when they were underdogs. Their defense is what's been getting it done. They're going against a high-powered offense. I think there's just a lot of similarities. They're coming in as underdogs by about a field goal. So I just think that I think what the factoring in of the 49ers is from earlier in the season. How good their offense was, how great their defense isn't any good lately. Like they made the Packers look like a really great offense. The Lions were doing what they wanted. If the Lions hadn't been stupid, they would have won the game. So,
Right. Yep.
now you're
Yeah.
gonna let Mahomes, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna stop Mahomes if you're playing like that. So,
I'm surprised the Niners won either of those games, let alone both, leading up to this. Yeah.
yeah, they really had no business winning either game. So,
Seriously. Yeah.
second half adjustments, man. That was a different game in the second half.
yeah,
I
but
thought the
the
Lions were gonna
Lion the
wall
Lions
through.
really blew it. And once you get that momentum, you get a catch off a helmet, you get a miss, a fourth down stop, a catch off a helmet, like, then a fumble, like you're destined to get there, like you're cursed if you're the Lions to be the Lions, basically. So,
Right?
all right, one last bet I'm going to throw your way is total first downs in the game,
Oh.
41 and a half. And I'm thinking to myself, how on earth does this get to 41 and a half first downs? I might be stepping in it here, boys, but
Wow.
I'm going under. The price is minus 130. We're talking 10 first downs a quarter? And even
So,
Whoa.
then,
all right. So, like,
Wow.
here's the thing with that. I couldn't tell you how many first downs there are in an average game. You could tell
Yes.
me it was 10, you could tell me it was 30, like I wouldn't know. I guess I could Google it and research it, but that one, like, I have no everything we've talked about so far, like I have a basic measure of That's a
Yeah.
weird one.
Yeah,
But I guess
because
that's what props are.
even with the Chiefs, like we said, going more ball control and a little more move the sticks instead of big chunk plays, that still sounds like a lot of first downs. Even with the
And that's
Niners doing a lot of that line of scrimmage passing that they do,
and
that's
that's where
tough.
I was on it too. I'm like, we're talking 10 first downs, a quarter, and even then we're not there.
Yeah,
Also, I like punts. I like punts in this game. I think the punters will factor in. I think there is an opportunity for a little field position maneuvering. So I really like Chiefs kicker as well. So you get, you can pick up maybe two, three first downs on a drive, kick a long field goal. Andy Reid has done one thing this year consistently. He has settled for points instead of doing the Dan Campbell and going for it every fourth down. He's like, nope, I'll take points. I'll try to win that way, etc. So I think I gave you guys like five or six. Obviously, I have way more. Oh, you know what? I actually did because it's our show. I had to do one crossover prop.
oh,
I don't like these. I don't like I generally don't know how to, you know. These are obviously when it's like an NBA guy or a golf guy versus a whatever guy,
right.
right?
They're
I
just
did
fun.
find one
It's
that I
just a
kind of like.
fun little twist on a thing. And you know what? I'm gonna do drugs about it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
That's what'll
shocking.
make it fun. So I found one, and it involves the Miami Heat and Tyler Hero.
Okay,
I
it's a
am
venture.
taking it's Tyler Hero 3-point field goals made versus San Francisco and Kansas City made field goals.
Oh,
Well, I kind of like low scoring, and I kind of like the field goal kickers, as I said. So I'm going with the field goal kickers to
yeah,
have more field goals than Tyler Hero. For example, Tyler Hero had two 3-pointers made tonight. So I think for sure there's going to be three made field goals. I actually think there might be more than that in this game.
right.
So
Yeah, I kind
I
of like that one.
I think that one will be, I don't want to say semi-easy. I'm not going to use the word lock,
Yeah,
never use
don't
that
do
word.
that.
But
Jesus.
you don't want to go like a streaky 3-point shooter. Yeah, plus, he's not necessarily just a 3-point shooter. So he's not like Duncan Robinson, who can go
Yeah.
for eight or nine threes. So
Yeah, this is kind of one of those things Samo mentioned where I don't have a baseline on his threes, but I'm with you. I'm with kickers on that.
yeah.
Threes
So
is something I bet periodically. I like to put it in a basketball parlay. So if I'm taking, like, again, teasing down the bets in the parlay, I like to, if the say the Sixers are favored by 5 and the over unders 220, I'll take the Sixers money line at minus 200. I'll tease the over down to 210 at 200, and then I'll take, you know, Joel Embiid 2 threes or Tyrese Maxey 4 threes, and then all of a sudden it's like a plus 300 bet. You got three things that are minus 200, and it's a plus 300 bet or something like that. Like that's my kind of bet. So actually, I have a pretty good measure on threes usually. So
I also enjoy those same game parlays where you can get a lower total than, because you got to think the line is efficient, right? If they have Kelsey at 70 yards, teasing them down to 50 or 60, you think
exactly,
it's going to be a lot more likely to hit. So,
Right.
is
correct.
my opinion.
Yep.
So that's what I got for my own original type of bets. Obviously, I have some thoughts on MVP. I have some thoughts on other things, but I'd like to get your guys' input.
I have some items I'd like to throw out there. So I had in the championship games, I had 4 parlays on the championship games, and they were my type of parlays. They were teased down. All of them were teased down. I lost the first 3 of the 4 parlays, and then the fourth one hit on Dan Campbell's malpractice because I think it took it under. It took it under because of his stupidity. So I made all of my money back plus 50% on that stupidity at the end. So it's like, okay, but Exhibit A of why that works. I won 1 out of 4, and I was like 50% up on the
Right.
4. So as soon as that was over, I mean, I looked a second. I wasn't planning on putting on the Super Bowl yet, but I looked at it. I saw that the Niners were 2.5 point favorites, and I immediately put it all into the Chiefs money line, which is obviously a plus bet, and a tease down over. And I forget what I teased it down to, but I want to say it was what's the over under right now? 45.
47. It's been 47 and a half pretty much all week.
So I think I teased it down to like 42 or something.
Okay.
So Chiefs money line, which is plus, and then the tease down over, which is minus, and it's a nice bet. So I rolled all that forward into that.
That money line for sure will pay nice. But yeah, it's 49ers are minus 2.5 right now, 47 and a half.
Right.
I teased the Chiefs right away, immediately, because I assumed it would go close to a pick 'em, and I've been wrong. But I teased the Chiefs up to 9.5, and then the over under to over 40 and a half. So
You
just
cheesed
thinking,
the Chiefs.
yeah, tease the Chiefs. Jeez, cut that. And I'm not even drinking any Malibu.
Um, so I I want to throw in a couple more pure football related bets, and then I have some really obscure props that I wanted to talk about. But I don't usually bet touchdown anytime touchdowns because I think it's just such an obscure thing. But the Pacheco and the McCaffrey anytime touchdowns jump out at me because they're such running threats, they're such catching threats. Especially with Pacheco because Mahomes really only has like Kelsey to throw to in terms of a receiving player, but Pacheco is such a threat. I can see if the Chiefs do start slow, I can see and Andy Reid. Hey, I watched Andy Reid forever in Philly. He loves the screen pass. If things are going bad in an Andy Reid offense, he likes to hit a running back with a couple blockers, or he likes to hit the tight end across the middle. So I see a Pacheco anytime TD for sure, and then also McCaffrey, like same thing. Like he can break one off for 50, he can catch one. McCaffrey, the last I looked, was minus 210 for anytime touchdown. Pacheco was minus 120. I wouldn't consider this a safe parlay like I usually do, but I would consider parlaying the Pacheco and the McCaffrey anytime touchdowns together as kind of lottery ticket type one. Or if you like one or the other, I think those are as strong anytime touchdowns as you'll ever see in a football game.
I certainly would go both of them rather than just separate. I mean, I might do a Pacheco and separate. I'm not laying 210 on McCaffrey just because there's a
It's too likely.
possible
Yeah.
injury factor. You just never know. But but yeah, no, I mean, if I was gonna do it, I would definitely parlay those. And those would be my top two picks. I wouldn't I wouldn't choose Kelsey over either of them. You
Right.
never know with receivers, right? Like you got to think the 49ers are going to do everything they possibly can to stop Kelsey, right? Who else is there? You know what I mean?
Pacheco.
Right.
Like you have to take him away. The
Mm-hmm.
whole world is watching. The whole world is watching his girlfriend. I mean, like, you got to try to take him out of the game if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So speaking of his girlfriend, I think there are some interesting Taylor Swift related bets out there.
Ooh. All right.
So there is so we all have heard about she's got to travel from Japan back. And I don't know if you saw this, that Japan, the embassy released a
Yes.
statement. It's like an official, like on their letterhead. I'm sure it's like embossed and like, wow, that's probably
Yeah.
not necessary, but whatever. It's pretty cool. So there's a prop bet that is, will CBS show Taylor Swift traveling back from Japan to the game? And it's
Oh.
plus 400. It's plus 400. Of course they're going to show her traveling back. There's going to be her walking on the tarmac, getting on her Learjet, or her getting
Yeah.
off the tarmac. And like plus 400 is ridiculous to me because
So
there's going to be there's
so
going to be a
that
6
counts,
hour.
right? It
What's
counts.
that?
Showing footage of her leaving would count.
Well, it's the prop bet as I'm reading it is, will CBS show Taylor Swift traveling from Japan to the game? And it's
So that's
on
to the
CBS.
game. I mean, I think that shows her in the parking lot coming in. That's travel to the game in my mind.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're going to show her. It's plus 400 just to show her once. They're going to show her leaving the concert. They're going to show her getting on the plane. They're going to show her getting
Yeah.
off the plane. Like, are you kidding me? That one's a
Yeah.
no brainer. But also something else that I've learned um, recently, like as in while we're on this podcast and I'm researching this, um, this does not count as a sports bet. And lots
Oh.
and lots of states have legalized sports bet gambling. This is not a sports bet. I'm sure you can bet on in Vegas. You can bet what color Joe's hair is in Vegas, probably.
you
But
cannot
um,
actually. In
Yes.
Vegas, you
really,
cannot. No, they're very strict about these ones actually.
Like
But
really,
anything
continue.
that's conceivably controllable for the
Yeah, no,
outcome.
Vegas is a lot where I think I've told you before, we are a lot more behind the times than a lot of these places with FanDuel and DraftKings. So,
actually, I think Ron probably hit on the head because it's controllable. Because they can,
Yeah, you
yeah,
could say, hey, my buddy's master control at CBS in the truck, and he said they've already cut the fucking travel package together. It's
right.
on a ready to roll. And yeah, I mean
Well,
it's knowable, I suppose.
I'd be willing to bet that I could place that wager in the undisclosed location that I'm currently in, though.
probably.
Um, but that one to me jumps out as like an obvious.
Yeah.
So uh, another, I think no brainer is will Kelsey mention Swift in some fashion plus 650. I think that's a little less likely because he does tend to kind of keep things separate. Like I think he'll hug her or kiss her or whatever, but when he's being interviewed, I think he's less likely to actually talk about it because it does kind of keep church and state separate. I think.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was interesting. I don't think I would bet on that one. I think I would take the travel one, but not that one.
Yeah. I want to
Well,
have my
so
travel one. Shit.
I
That's
haven't I have a question about the travel one. I think she's gonna get there well in time, right? I
Oh yeah,
don't
oh
think
yeah.
it's so that's my only concern there. But you're right. If they're showing a tarmac, then yeah, then you win. You know what I mean? But like if it's like against the clock, I think, she's gonna get there within plenty of time.
Right.
Um,
But
Probably they should just do whatever is gonna make most people mad, and showing her makes people mad. So,
now
yeah.
is this just Super Bowl broadcast or is pregame? Because this seems like a perfect pregame storyline where they can, like I said, that footage will be cut together before she lands.
Right. All it says is, will they show it on CBS? So
Oh
it
fuck
is
yeah!
specific to that network. But they're going to have 6 hours of bullshit leading up to the game. They're going to be
That's what
like
I'm
all
saying.
day. Yeah.
very
Yeah,
good.
I
Good
fucking
point.
want in on this Taylor Swift thing. That's free money. Shit.
Yep.
That's some good shit right there. Yeah, we cannot bet those here, unfortunately. We can't bet national anthem. We can't bet Gatorade color. We are stuck with, measurable things on the field of play, basically, is what it
I
comes.
mean,
Nevada
um,
Gaming is actually very strict about that.
I have one more Taylor Swift related one, and that would be now this is plus 1060. I would also not bet on this one, but this one is interesting, and this would be a boss move. But it is, will Kelsey propose to Swift at the
Oh
game?
shit.
Plus 1060. That would be pretty awesome. That would be a boss move.
Wow.
I don't think it'll happen though, but it would be cool.
I mean, if you think they're going to win and you think he's going to retire, why wouldn't he, right? Might as well just go for the trifecta there.
Yep.
Uh, that's
Okay.
that. Those are fun. I gotta find me an offshore account. Some of these in.
I will walk downstairs after this podcast and see if these are available.
Actually, why don't we send you downstairs tonight and have you place some bets live on the pod? And I think we'll put an over under on how many show references you get in. We'll put that about 4.5. So that's your
Okay.
mission. We'll send you down there, see how many you can sandwich in, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, we'll
I think I
definitely.
could do that. So Joe mentioned Gatorade. So interestingly enough, I was thinking about Gatorade as I'm getting dehydrated right now. I was thinking about the hydration element of this. So Gatorade related bets. There's two that I like actually that I like a lot, and I'm going to see if I can bet these tonight. So the color, you can bet on the color, and people have done that in the past, and it's kind of a coin flip, and well, not a coin flip. It's a coin that has 10 different sides flipped. But like we've talked about before, I don't really have like without researching it, I don't have an idea of which one I would go with and which one's been done more. So I actually looked at some stats of the colors in the past, and orange is the most common. It's been used 5 times, followed by blue 4 times and clear 4 times. Clear really surprises me because to me that's like it might not even be Gatorade. Like that's kind of
Really
I would
defeating
think
the purpose of
Could be
the
water, right?
advertising.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's like that milky color. I don't know, man. Whatever.
Right.
Like to me, like Gatorade's missing their attention getter with clear,
Yeah.
followed by yellow and purple at 3, and then none is 4, and none probably
Oh.
means that the coach is a little too agile, that they were trying to and they missed him because that does happen.
Yeah.
So none, if you think the Chiefs are going to win, it ain't going to be none because Andy Reid is not faster than anybody on his team. So that ain't going to happen. If they win, Andy Reid's getting doused.
You see him start fucking juking and stiff arming people.
Yeah.
Mustache just flapping.
Right. I could see what's his face, like looking around, looking over his shoulder, and like beating feet out of there while his guys. So if the Niners won, I actually could see that one happening. But because I don't think the Niners are going to win, I'm not going to take that one. But when I look at the odds, so yellow is right in the middle there, right? When I look at the odds, they have all the different colors, but for some reason they give you all the colors you can bet individually. But for some reason, yellow and green are coupled together. And yellow has been done 3 times. Green has never been done.
Oh.
So I guess that's why, because it's never been done. They're throwing it in with the yellow.
It might be too hard to tell the difference, too. I mean, one of those like...
Could be. But the reason I like this one is the NFL has been more and more pushing the Nickelodeon thing.
Yes.
And the slime, and they're dumping slime. So they're dumping green slime on guys a couple games a year now. I could see a Nickelodeon-related NFL green thing. So I'm going to take yellow and green at plus 425 for the Gatorade to be dumped.
I like that.
There's some Gatorade analysis right there for you.
Fuck yeah.
I really like that actually. Obviously red is I think it's too low of odds. It just seems too likely. I think I like the green yellow one. I've never bet it, never analyzed it, so thank you for that. I appreciate
Plus
that analysis.
450 or plus 425, let's go.
I mean, might as well, right? Just throw a little
Yep.
flyer on it. That's good stuff right there. But
I got one last Gatorade related one, and we're going deep. We're going deep into the Gatorade. By the way, that whatever you're drinking there looks like the Gatorade that they're going to be dumping when we win some money.
Dumping hard Mountain Dew on Andy Reid after a win.
Nice. Andy Reid looks like a hard Mountain Dew kind of guy, actually.
Oh yeah.
Does Andy Reid look like a guy who drinks hard Mountain Dew?
Too spicy for him.
So here's one, deep in the woods Gatorade related one. This is the last one I'm going to throw out to you guys. So you can not only bet on the color of the Gatorade, but the position players that are going to be dumping the Gatorade on the coach.
Oh.
And so regardless of the color, regardless of the team, you can bet an offensive player is going to do it at minus 110. A defensive player is going to do it at plus 150, or both at plus 450.
Oh, wow.
I like plus 450 because, first of all, even though these guys are strong, I think you need 2 guys to carry the thing, right?
Yeah. I think it's general linemen too.
Right. Even though
beefy
I think
fuckers.
they're strong enough, but I think it's awkward. I think you need a guy on each side just to kind of manage it and to make sure the guy doesn't shimmy out and get away from it.
Yeah.
So
you gotta be accurate too. You can't just fling that shit all willy nilly.
Exactly. So I like both plus 450 because not even like it's not going to be like a random thing. I think they're going to be like, we're excited. It's going to be like the captain of the defense, the captain of the offense. We're going to both kind of represent both sides of the team, celebrating and thumping on the coach. So I like both players, one offensive guy, one defensive guy, to do the Gatorade dumping.
I like that.
I kind of like that defensive, honestly. I kind of want to get in on that plus money defensive guy just because I think if the Chiefs win, it's going to have to be a good defensive. You can see Mahomes distracting Andy Reid, talking to him about his legacy, and then all of a sudden you got a couple big defensive giants, coming and doing it. But I could also see Kelsey and a defensive guy coming and bringing it too. So
I
uh,
wonder if you could. I wonder if you could parlay the color with the players of who's gonna the color of the Gatorade with the players they're gonna dump it, because that would be some shit right there.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
you
they
should be able.
automatic.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you should be able to. They're just taking our money.
I think they automatically call that gambler's hotline if you do that. So I don't think you can. But
I mean, if you can parlay it, someone will do it. Better believe.
I will. I think I'll filibuster now with some prop talk while we get Samo down to the casino to place bets live on the pod. Should be interesting. Joe, you going to take the over or the under on the show references he works in? 4.5 is where we're sitting.
Oh boy, they say it's easier to win an under than it is an over. I don't know, man. He seems excited for this game, so I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
I feel like he's fired up to make these bets, fired up for this Super Bowl. He'll get there. He'll
Okay.
get
Well, then I'm going to have to go the other direction to make this a bet. But it sounds like we've got him in place. So I've got him in my headset. Let's see. Samo, you,
Okay,
you
here
there?
I am at an undisclosed location at the casino. Walking up to the sports book now. Hi, how are you today? Good, good. Thanks. Yeah, I'm on vacation. No kids, no pets, no plants. Yeah, I'd like to place a couple bets, please. Wow, you're tall. How tall are you? Like 6'2"? Yeah, that's what I thought.
shit.
Okay, let's look at some soccer lines. What's the under/over for Plymouth Leeds match?
This shit is flying over.
Okay, we'll go with $5 on the over. All right, let's get another soccer game in here. All right, Reading, Rennes, Radcliffe, Rutabaga. All right, let's go with Dorking and Altrincham to draw. That sounds like a good one. Yeah, we'll do $5 on that one too. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking it might go bigger than that. It might go dozens. Let's see.
And the dozen.
Let's go with a dozen. Probably not more than that, yeah, all right, dozen.
That's a win for me, right?
That's the over.
How about Burton and Cheltenham? How much? About this much? Oh, sorry, visual gag. Let's do $5 on that one too. Yeah, sorry. What are we doing here? Right. All right, let's look at some NBA games.
Crushed.
Let's go with the Grizzlies covering the 14, parlayed with the over. Yeah, it's just like I say, giblets, Yep.
Oh, I should have hedged this. Fuck.
All right, I think I'm going to do a couple more, and then I need a pee break.
Let
let's
the decree
go
go
with
forth. It is time
Phoenix
to pee.
minus 3.5 over Milwaukee. Yeah, I know. I love Milwaukee, but Doc Rivers sucks, Doc Rivers catching a stray.
Catching
Yeah.
a stray.
I could have got like
Let's
plus
do
700
one
for like
more. I
9.
think we'll wrap it up.
Should have set that higher. Fuck.
All right, let's throw a hockey game in there. How about Florida Panthers money line over the Flyers, parlayed with the over 6. Yeah, I love the Flyers. They're my team, but they're in a real tough spot with Carter Hart out for that Team Canada sex scandal. A total perv alert. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Can I get a recap?
Oh shit.
Okay, yeah, right there.
It's
let
like
me
salt.
check.
Salt in the wound.
Yep, that's it. All right, cool. Have a great night. Thank you.
I feel bad for his ticket writer, man.
Fuck. There
I'd
it
have thrown his
was.
ass out.
Oh man, live bets on the pod. That now goes with our live liquor store. So we're breaking ground.
Jesus, man, what a baller. Oh my God. I forgot some of these references actually.
Should have set that
So
way fucking higher.
so good on him. Seriously. Wow.
4.5 was safe, you
I
know.
wonder what he was betting on each game. He didn't even say an amount. They just look at him and say, "All right, I'll give you that for this amount.
Yeah,
I'll
they
give you
just
that for
know.
this amount." You know? Man. That was something. That was magnificent, if I do say so. Notice I didn't think I saw any Super Bowl bets in there though, so he's gonna have to get those in later, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, he'll have to go back and do the Taylor Swift ones as well. I think so. It's yeah, he can get them all, get them in
Now,
post.
what we should make him do is we should see if he can get more show references in for the Super Bowl bets. I bet he can't do it. I bet he's going under on the next one. So
On the under over, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always been called the under over. Just ask people from Arizona or who live in.
Right, right. Just Google it, you know.
Yeah, I did Google it actually, I
Oh
believe,
yeah, how'd that
on
come
the
back?
episode,
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure I won that one. So.
huh.
Well, I'm waiting for him to get back because I want to talk MVP. I want to get nuts. I don't know about you guys, but I want to get nuts. Actually,
Fuck
Ron, I
yeah.
just I did just find a new bet to place live
Oh,
on the show.
okay.
So I don't know if you've ever followed me on Twitter,
Oh, what
but
is that handle?
it's at Dude Goods, I believe. It's a
Oh.
Dan Levitard show reference, as I told one of the Dan Levitard show producers yesterday before he gave me a look like I hate you. But so everyone talks about scoregami, right?
Yes.
Will there be a scoregami, whatever? And if you follow me on Twitter, I get really annoyed with scoregami talk. Like it's stupid, it's annoying, whatever. I found a bet just now, though, however. Final score to have occurred as a past Super Bowl final score. The yes is plus
Whoa.
410. I mean, you're telling me this can't go 27-24? I'm pretty sure that's a final, or,
Right.
I don't know exactly what all the final scores are, but I'm pretty sure we can get there in this game. A final score that is matched a previous one. So plus 410, I'll take those odds. Throw a few bucks on it.
I like that. Oh, what do we got here?
What's up, guys? Did the recording work?
Yeah, I set the over a little low, so I got
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
did
I think I.
security escort you out for being such a challenging customer?
It was only like a couple minutes. It was like, it was no problem. The glass is like, I swear, the glass is like 4 inches thick, like bulletproof glass. It's so weird. They're behind like a. I can barely even hear him, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I'm not gonna lie, that's the first time I've ever heard anyone ask for a recap of.
yeah. So so the other thing that I did, and I didn't record this, but I actually did this. And if this happens, we may all come back to this undisclosed location, like the whole crew, because all of those weird ass bets that I did, I actually parlayed them all together on one bet for a lottery
Holy
ticket. So I
shit.
actually did that. Yeah, I can show you the ticket, but it's like this long if it happens. It's like plus 27,000 or something if they all hit. So
Plus
Jeez.
27 million. If you hit it, you have to fly us somewhere to meet you. I mean, that's a super lottery ticket.
yeah.
And
So
the best part about that is that it gives us a chance to use this fucker again
Where in the world is Troy getting hammered?
because I just like playing that. I don't get to do it enough. So.
I mean, who doesn't?
Right?
All right, you guys ready to get nuts?
Fuck yeah.
I want to talk MVP. I believe that this is a pretty unique Super Bowl. I think
Agreed.
you have a team in the 49ers where the quarterback basically can't really win MVP. I think if they win, it's not because of him.
Right.
I also think you have super Mahomes fatigue and his worst offense he's ever had. So I think if the Chiefs win, there's a good chance it could be someone other than him. They're obviously the two odds-on favorites. Currently, Brock Purdy's plus 225. Mahomes is plus 155. So I took a couple flyers on a few others. I got two big long shots and I got one sort of semi not long shot. So I want you guys to think of yours. I'm gonna start with my we'll call it a sort of boring one. And that is gonna be George Kittle. I think Kittle could have a big game. I think from what we've seen of the Chiefs, they're if they focus on Ayuk, they're really good against like a number one wide receiver. So if they focus on Ayuk, they try to limit McCaffrey, they, take away Debo a little bit. I think Kittle could, have some big plays. So I got him at 80 to 1. I like
Wow.
throwing a little splash on that one. That was at BetMGM. I shopped around. Um, I think it's a possibility. I think he could go for possibly. I think I also bet him on FanDuel at like 30 receiving yards in each half, something like that, at like plus three or
Hmm.
400. So I like him to, and he wasn't very good last game. So I think he'll bounce back. I think he's a really talented tight end. I mean, I think he's every bit as good as the current Kelsey that we have. Kelsey's obviously slowing down a little bit, so. Look for George Kittle to have a big day. Thoughts
Yeah.
on that one?
My
80 to 1? That's I didn't love it when you said it, but like when you were first saying it, I didn't love it. But then when you said 80 to 1, oh yeah,
right.
absolutely. I
How do
mean,
you go wrong?
Yeah, he's 65 to 1 at Circa right now, but like I said, I shopped around, found the best number,
hmm.
one that I really liked. So,
Yeah.
before I
My
get to my huge long shots, what are you guys thinking for MVP?
like I said, I keep all I can think of is everything in my brain says that 49ers offense, all the weapons. Purdy doesn't even have to be great. Just has to be efficient, spread it out, let them do their things. I just keep going to Mahomes in a bag of magic. I just think that that's what's going to keep happening. So that's where I'd go. I'm sure there's no money on it, but too obvious. But it's just that's the way I see it going down.
I I like the running backs. I mean, just like I was talking about the anytime touchdowns.
Hmm.
I think if McCaffrey's breaking a 50-yard run, or if Pacheco is breaking a 50-yard screen pass,
Yeah.
that's more about the play. Obviously, the run is more about the player, but even the screen pass is more about the running back than the guy that threw the 5-yard pass
Right.
to him. So I like I like the running backs. I think the Chiefs are going to win, so I would take Pacheco. I don't know what the number is. I didn't look at it, but I think I would be looking at Pacheco as a kind of a favorite. But it scares me about. I'm interested to hear Joe's long shots because I feel like when you think about past Super Bowls, there's a lot of obscure players. Like there's like David Tyrese and like other like defensive players that I've never
Right.
heard about. So I feel like, especially if it's a low scoring game, it's going to be somebody weird. So
Yeah.
I'd
Justin
stay away
Watson.
from it. But I think Pacheco and then maybe a flyer, and I wouldn't put a lot of money in it.
Pacheco is currently 30 to 1.
Okay.
I like that.
I don't mind it at all because, I mean, you could argue that Mahomes' first MVP, it should have gone to Damian Williams. He had two touchdowns, big run to break it. But and like I said, Mahomes fatigue. I think the only other kind of short odds, if you're going to go on the Chiefs, has to be Kelsey. If you believe in any of these conspiracies that are going around about anything, he's got the biggest pop star girlfriend in the world. If they win, if he potentially is going to retire, if he has a game like last game, 7 for 120 or whatever, he wins the MVP. Mahomes only had one touchdown pass, and it was basically all to Kelsey. So, he's 14 to 1 right now. So it's a little short, I think, but not terrible. Again, if you think somebody other than Mahomes is going to win it, it's got to be Pacheco or Kelsey, unless of course you go with one of my nuts long shots,
Are you going with Watson here? Because
which is coming up. So
MVS.
when you guys are ready, I'm ready to give you my first big long shot. You ready?
I think I am. Yeah.
All right. So, what is something that would kill almost every prop bet there is? a big injury to a big time player.
Right.
And somebody who left the game at the end of the game, sort of banged up, was Christian McCaffrey last week. We don't know his health. We assume he's healthy. We assume he's going to crush him. But what if he's not healthy? Or what if he gets banged up or whatever? Elijah Mitchell is ready
Yes.
to go, rested, could very easily break a couple off. I already got him at over 1.5 carries, over 4.5 yards, and long rush over 1.5 yards. Because that could happen whether McCaffrey's
Yeah.
hurt or not. I feel like those could actually happen. But let's
Yeah.
say the 49ers win and McCaffrey gets hurt. They're going to have to do it running, and it's going to be with this guy. He's their backup, hasn't played all season, probably feels better than all of them. I
Yeah.
got Elijah Mitchell at 300 to 1 just a few
Wow.
days ago. I figured it's worth a
Wow.
couple bucks. You never know. Injuries can happen. And if it does, at least I'm live then.
Yeah.
I believe the 49ers are going to run the ball. And I believe it's basically the last thing anyone would expect. Would
Yeah.
anyone expect Elijah Mitchell? Probably they don't even know he plays for the 49ers.
Right.
49ers. So they'd be like, who is this guy and what just happened?
Yeah, he got
So
some touches in the playoffs. I think he's got a goal line touchdown
had a
in there.
touchdown last game at
He
the end of the
ran.
game.
He was running like, yeah, this is my shot. He looked angry getting into the end zone.
Yeah, I just think that everyone expects that McCaffrey is going to get all the touches and all the playing
Right.
time. He's had injury problems his entire career, maybe not huge injuries or anything, but he's been banged up a lot his entire career. They would need someone if that happens, so I'm throwing a few bucks on it just in case.
I like it.
I like it, and I mean it kind of fits into what I was saying before about it's a lot of time. More often than not, it's an obscure player, so I do like that. Where I thought you were going to go with that was I thought you were maybe going to go with the backup quarterback. I
Mm.
mean,
Oh.
it's it's definitely, and I guess Mahomes, he got hurt last Super Bowl. I mean, we thought we had it won at halftime when he was limping off, and they shot him up with
Yeah.
whatever they shot him up with, and he was
Right.
freaking Superman in the second half.
Magic
But
dust.
but I don't blame him. I mean, we would do the same thing, obviously. But so that's I hate to bet on something like not hoping, but I hate to bet on like a backup quarterback but I would imagine it's going to be long odds like that.
It's interesting you
Um,
bring that up because I heard that a couple sportsbooks in town have a sizable liability on Sam Darnold. So like some people have come in and
Oh.
bet Sam Darnold MVP just in case that scenario happens.
All those
yeah,
odds got to be
He gets in the
insane
game for
odds.
Purdy and they
Yeah.
somehow win. He'll be the man of the hour for sure,
and
depending on.
That's true.
it's got to be longer odds than Mitchell because Mitchell's in the game even if McCaffrey's not hurt.
Right. He could put up a
But
couple touchdowns without McCaffrey missing any time to injury.
right, but Darnold, yeah, if that happens, that's freaking, that's like,
So he
Mayday for them.
there's definitely liability because Sam Darnold is he's 200 to 1 here. So
Oh,
he's
wow.
lower odds.
Less than Mitchell?
Yeah.
That's
What the fuck?
insane.
So which means that people have come in and bet on that scenario. So
I mean,
Wow.
somebody found the script.
and like I said, I like the 49ers to run. So even if McCaffrey doesn't get hurt, I still think Mitchell can get 2 carries. If he gets 2 carries, I'm basically gonna win all my bets. He's gonna get over 4 yards. He's gonna get the carries. He's probably gonna get his long over 1.5.
Yeah. He'll
Basically,
get
sports
that when
books are saying he's gonna play a snap, but he's not gonna get a touch.
McCaffrey's going to break some big run and have to leave for oxygen, and he's going to
Yeah.
get that in 2 handoffs. I mean, I love that bet.
That's a very good point. I mean, he could very easily get spelled, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think everybody's just counting on the fact that, well, if it doesn't go to McCaffrey, it's gonna go to Debo. And if it doesn't go to Debo, Purdy's gonna keep it. Or maybe they'll get use check or whatever his name is in there and run the ball a little bit. So yeah, that's my thought process there. I also took a flyer on him to be the leading rusher in the game. I believe that was roughly 80 to 1, something really high. And then anytime touchdown was 11 to 1.
Sorry,
So
this is Mitchell.
yeah, this is Mitchell. And
Wow.
so, like you said, Ron, that could be end of the game. They could be winning, they could be down.
Yeah.
McCaffrey's out of the game. a junk anytime touchdown could very easily happen.
Yeah, I
So,
love it.
all right, and then my other long shot, and I want you guys just to picture a situation here. All right. Let's say it's 17 to 16, 49ers. We got about under 2 minutes to go. We are driving. Mahomes doing his magic thing, gets in field goal range, but it's like the 38, 37 yard line. And so far, the Chiefs have 16 points on one touchdown and three field goals. If Harrison Butker marches out there and wins the game 19 to 17 with his fourth field goal of the game from 50 yards, he's winning the MVP. I don't
Yeah.
care. I know that you'll want to give it to Mahomes, but if Mahomes has one touchdown and like maybe 200 yards and Butker has four field goals, like I said, the Chiefs will take points. Harrison Butker is 300 to 1 to win the MVP. I think he could easily go for three, four field goals, and who knows what happens. They win the game, they
Yeah.
might have to give it to him.
Has a kicker won MVP before?
Yeah, and one of those didn't one of those New England didn't Vinatieri win one?
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think so. I don't think he
No,
did actually, but I
I
think
don't know. It was really
early
high
on,
back then, so
I think
it's
early on, possibly. I mean, you'd argue that he should have won for that first one, Vinatieri, right? A walk
Hmm.
off, and Brady didn't have great stats. But
yeah.
again, I think if it wasn't for the Mahomes fatigue, like we're getting kind of tired of this guy. Somebody broke it down on a pod today. Brady got MVP for his first two, and then his third went to Deion Branch. And then he got it for like the next two, and then it went to Edelman. So like there's something about that third one, and it's what, 3 and 4 years, 3 and 5 years, that I think this is the year. If you're gonna bet against Mahomes or bet against one of the quarterbacks to win it, this would be the year. And so trying to search out a big number and hopefully get lucky.
I like it.
Yeah.
Um, I thought of one more to throw out there too. So I don't know if you guys noticed, Brock Purdy had more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson in the NFC Championship or in the championship games. Um, and coming into the championship weekend, Brock Purdy's rushing yards were over under 1.5 yards. I don't know if you saw that. It was one and a half
Wow.
rushing yards for Brock Purdy coming into the championship game. And he had 50 or
I would
55,
say
something like that.
way up now.
It's 10 and a half the last I looked at it.
I saw 11 and a
Okay.
half recently.
So I think not that he's Lamar Jackson, but I do feel like that's something that is a part of their offense. I think 10's a no brainer. Like that's basically
Mhm.
breaking off one.
That's one. Yeah.
So I sort of like that in a parlay. Like just throw that in with a couple other random things. I mean, you could bet it on its own, but I sort of like that
Yeah.
sweetening whatever other bets you want, and that doesn't really even have to correlate to them winning. Like you could bet the Chiefs winning and Brock Purdy having 12 yards, or 11 yards. So I like that one a lot. I think it's going to be part of what they do, not what they do like big scale, but he's gonna get a first down here or there, and I think that's a good one.
I definitely like his rushing yards. I actually put a little bit of money on, I like to do first touchdowns. I got a little bit on Mahomes and Purdy. I think either of them could have a rushing touchdown. And then I think the other two flyers I took a Noah Gray, and I think I might have taken Kittle for first touchdown as well. I got a decent number on that one. Obviously, you can't go with Kelsey. You can't go with McCaffrey for first touchdown. The odds just
Right.
aren't good enough. But I definitely like the Purdy. I was thinking about even parlaying it, like his over rushing yards with possibly an anytime rushing touchdown. Every game you can bet on the over under the shortest touchdown, and it's always set at 1.5. So, you could get a QB sneak there very easily, broken down play, something like that, with either QB. And if they're going for a legacy Mahomes game, they could very easily call for him to sneak one in. Or hey, if Shanahan's up and he wants to prove that Purdy is a stud, I could see him calling his number as well. You never know with these games. These games can end up being blowouts. Weird shit happens almost all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you happen to know the over under for total yardage for Pacheco?
I got it at 68 and a half rushing yards.
Oh, rushing
Uh,
only.
I
Okay,
don't know the
wow.
combination. I can look it up.
Because like
Um,
Samo pointed out, it just takes a couple of those little dump offs and he's got 40, 50 receiving as well. So I thought you were going to say 68 total, and I was like, give me some of that.
oh yeah, for sure. No, I got him at 7-1 to be leading rusher in the game.
Okay.
I think it was seven to
But
one.
but I see what Ron's getting at there, that total yards, because he's gonna get an even mix of rushing and receiving. So I don't
Right.
like his rushing yards
I
because
don't either.
Andy Reid's philosophy, and we've seen this for a long time in Philly with Brian Westbrook
Mm-hmm.
and um uh sorry, the other guy's name is escaping me. A couple good running
McCoy,
backs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shady.
McCoy. Yeah, LaShawn McCoy. So they did 2 yard screen passes that were essentially rushing plays. They
Yeah.
were rushing plays, but they go in the books as a receiving play.
It's a
So I
glorified
like the
fucking
total
handoff.
yards. I like the
Yeah.
total yards. I don't like the rushing yards for him. Yep.
Agree.
All right, I'm almost there. I'm looking it up, looking it up.
Because I was
Rushing.
thinking maybe I should package up that McCaffrey anytime touchdown with a Pacheco anytime touchdown and that Purdy rushing over and see if you can parlay that into a win.
Yeah.
I'm just all I would say is this: Pacheco total rushing and receiving yards 87 and a half. I definitely like that. It's a little high, but
It is a little high, but I can
sometimes
see
those
him.
receiving ones are a little volatile. That's the only problem I have with it. But
Mhm.
be careful with that McCaffrey anytime touchdown because everyone in the world is going to have that parlayed with
Yeah.
other stuff. And it's like when you parlay the one thing that you think can't lose with a bunch of other stuff, that's when you're burned. So I don't mind doing the two running backs together. You could probably get what, like maybe plus 150, something like that. But
Mhm.
otherwise, I don't know. I wouldn't add too much more to it.
Yeah. I do like that Purdy rushing over because, like you said, that's they flush him out of the pocket one time and he picks up a first down and there it is.
Right.
And he
I
seemed to
think
be doing that late.
with quarterback rushing, you do have to worry a little bit about the kneeling on it, because if you're close and they
Yeah.
kneel a couple times and you lose
Oh,
3 or whatever.
I don't want to lose
But
like that.
yeah, but I guess it's hard to worry about 5 yards or whatever a couple kneel downs would be. I don't know.
Right.
Ron, I need a pee break.
Let the decree go forth. It is time to pee. Just keep waiting for Joe to say lines so I can get that joke off for the end of the episode. But like, damn it, he just keeps saying over under. I was like, no, Joe, what are the lines for that game? Could you say lines once? Yeah, because last year I actually had Joe place a handful of bets for me. And I went 50-50, which, put me up a couple bucks. But I also put $2 on each kicker for MVP just in case.
Okay.
So instead of being up like 350, I ended up being down like $1.75 or something. So he didn't have me bother sending him the cash. But
So the state of Wisconsin's still afraid of a little gambling, huh?
yeah. America is going through a renaissance of online sports gambling. But are you being excluded? Maybe the apps, maybe they ain't for you. Too much to process, all that blinking, the bells and whistles and whatnot. Or maybe you do know how to navigate them just fine, but you ain't got the cash up front like they require. Or maybe you live in one of those states, them fraidy cat states that don't allow gambling because they're afraid of a little gambling. Whatever the reason, you don't gotta worry about that. Because you can circumnavigate this whole fiasco with my clandestine wagering service, Guy in the Alley. Here at Guy in the Alley, we offer the most secure analog wagering experience. No fancy phone application, and it don't matter what state you're in, there's always a guy in the alley nearby. And we don't require cash up front like these phone guys. Of course, failure to pay will result in some broken bones. That's right, we're old school. We will send a real, authentic Italian-American stereotype right to your home like the old days. So if apps ain't for you, or your state's a big baby, trust the original, Guy in the Alley. Yeah, and we're close enough to Iowa that I know dudes that'll just drive over the border and put their bets in, and
Okay.
but I ain't driving over the border for that. I just for the dispensaries. Worth the drive.
I'm getting fired up for this game, boys.
You got any lines that we can get some?
You mean like you mean like cocaine? I mean, I wish. I wish I did.
I think that's actually the better joke. I think maybe I should roll with that one.
Ron, final score prediction.
Final score. Let's go 26 Chiefs, and the Niners 24.
Nice.
Give myself a ding.
Samo.
So I'm gonna go 21-17 Chiefs. And I also think I'm gonna go back to I think the Chiefs are gonna get the first score because Andy Reid scripts the first drive. Like it's a big deal of what he does. He can script the first drive really well. He's good at the start of the game, he's good at the second half. So I think the Chiefs get the first score. The Niners so the Chiefs win the first quarter, the Niners come back, win the second and third quarter, and then the Chiefs get the magic in the fourth quarter and win the game. So that's how I'm going to call it. 21-17 Chiefs.
21-17. All right. Well, when I saw the line,
Somebody say lines.
You're listening to the Outsiders Social Club on the Half-Ass Podcast Network.